clear that I can't capture their voices on my live stream. That they are screaming because they're pretending. I want to make it clear that I hear them in my head. They want to make it sound like their voice is coming from outside. I can't flee the situation. So since I've come to a peace with the fact that I can't flee it, and I'm doing, I trying my best to ignore it. The terrorists they want to try to isolate me, right? Because now I'm building stability, or attempting to, um, and they're screaming in my head, saying, "Go fucking die, go kill yourself. We want to talk in your daughter's head. Your daughter is our daughter. How do you think you got pregnant? We raped you with this weapon, you and your ex-husband. Um, Now your daughter belongs to us, bitch." And it's just this ongoing garbage that these Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists are saying. They're trying to make it sound like their voice is coming from outside. They're trying to put me, like I said, in fight mode, since I'm not fleeing anymore, so that they can make me sound violent and belligerent. Because of course nobody hears them, so they only hear me, so I look crazy. And of course the terrorists, it's to isolate me. They're saying right now about me discussing how psychotic they are, that I'm being dramatic. They're psycho, they're murderers, they're serial killers. They murdered Bernadette Oloskov, who was found dead, David Basili, found dead, CK, who was found dead, Dr. Georgie was found dead, Florence Joyner Jr. was found dead, Kira was found dead, Shetty was found dead, it just so many people. And then they've trafficked people into car accidents because they can take control of their vehicles with this they're using to talk into my head. And I've experienced having to slam on the brakes on several occasions, so that's why I know that they've trafficked people into car accidents. Um, I mean, this is ongoing. They are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. The list of people that I know that they've murdered with this weapon probably exceeds 40 or 50 people. Do you hear what I'm saying? They take control of my facial expressions. My facial expressions. That means they could take control of my hand. They play with my head, and I have to think. I have to stop myself and think and say, is this something I would say or do? Or because they are so they are so good at manipulating you and believing, like the you can't even tell they're using the weapon to manipulate your brain activity. And sometimes they want to tell me, "Oh, you're stupid," because they're rewiring my mind. And literally, I'm like, would I say something like this? Would I do something like this? Is this something that I would just? And if it's obvious, like it suits their agenda, obviously not mine, because mine would be to sentence them to death and to get them off my back and protect my family and sentence them to death. And so I have to sit back and think for a second, are they, because of how hard they're playing with my head. For a while, they had me thinking like I was competing with them. I like, "You're not gorgeous, ugly, you're a whore," and I was so out of my fucking mind. I was posting to to dating sites and meeting men on dating sites, thinking like I had a point to prove, not realizing I was being murdered by these terrorists talking in my head. The very last thing you should fucking do is, that should be the last thing on your fucking mind. Somebody is talking in your head with a mind control, mind reading war weapon. And these psycho bitches that are talking in my head wanted me promiscuous, trying to make me to catch AIDS or HIV by calling me a whore, trying to, or STDs, trying to say that I'm neglecting my responsibilities as a parent and that I put men before money, and just they're sick in the fucking head. And I, like, when I realized, oh my God, I raped. And when I realized, like, wait a second. And a halt to that. And I was like, I really need to reassess what it is that they want out of the situation and what's really going on and what I really want, because I feel like I'm constantly trying to flee the situation, or I'm getting too emotionally wrapped up and not really realizing the reality of the situation and the seriousness. And when I started to really dig deep, I realized like I know I sound calm, but I need to be, because they're trying so like me, and everyone here that lives in this community can testify on my behalf, and on top of the fact are victims to these terrorist crimes, and because the weapon is voice activated and they're triggering it, and they're making it sound like everybody out, it could be anybody or everybody outside screaming, and could easily frame and defame the people in my community for what they're screaming in my head, especially if I'm not live streaming and there's nobody recording all day long to make it clear, because I'm at home and I'm behind all these closed doors and what have you. um um, so it's like I can't see through walls, and people, all they can do is hear me, and then on top of it, it's I'm screaming back at voices no one else hears, and making me sound belligerent and violent, and making people feel startled by my presence, and just they want to start this conversation to get me kicked out of my this is my condo, not just like, and I'm not renting an apartment. This is like they want to kick my family out of the community and destroy our assets and our like everything that we have. They're psycho Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're psycho. Do you understand me? These bitches are psycho. This isn't the attacks aren't these aren't minor attacks. I know I'm on that way, but these are major attacks. They're pulling on the muscles in my face. Okay? They're constantly pulling on the muscles in my face, making my face swell, screaming in my head. They ruin my posture. They're saying, "Ha ha, we mutilated your body, bitch. We chipped your tooth, whore." Um, you we wrecked your son's car. We're the ones who trafficked your son into a car accident. All of my nice attire, my work. I don't, and honestly, I never buy anything. This is how stupid they are. I'm not one. I don't really like, to be completely honest, I don't like skin tight clothes, and I don't like things that are super revealing. That's just, it's not me. I don't find it sexy. Maybe a little cleavage or a little leg, but I don't like the combination of both. I find it tacky. That's my opinion. That other people find it sexy. That's completely fine. For me, in a bedroom, it's one thing with, you're getting intimate with somebody, but to just like wear it out on a regular basis, that's not my thing. I like style. Like, I like really getting dressed up. If I had more money, oh my God, I would, I would destroy some of these department stores or wherever. Um, so the terrorist talking in my head, because all my clothes are work attire. They keep trying to poke holes in them, ruin the zipper, especially my newer, nicer stuff. The stuff that doesn't, obviously, they want me to keep anything that is old and dingy looking, but everything that's brand new or still like it, and it's nice looking, they want to rip it, they want to stain it. I just bought my daughter a $50 $50 sweater from PacSun, and now there's bleach on it, and it was I don't even buy bleach. It was the cleaner was cleaning, and I don't know, must have put bleach on it by accident. And my daughter was like, "Mom, did you use bleach?" And I was like, "No, of course not." And I look, and the terrorists talking in my head are like, "Get the fucking picture," because they want to make it look like I don't buy my daughter clothes, like I don't, like we don't do anything for her. And then when my daughter she gets dressed up, she wears like the baggiest stuff, and they laugh like, "Ha ha, we're talking in your daughter's head so she could look like a bum." So, and I'm not to say that about my daughter, but that's I particularly think like her style looks like bummish. It's true, and not that's not my opinion, but I mean, it is my opinion. It is my opinion. Fuck that. And um, the terrorists talking in my head are like, ha 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 ha, but it's all, but I believe that they're responsible for it. And they're like, we're talking in your daughter's head, stupid bitch. Why do you think she's struggling in high school? Why do you think she's struggling, bitch? You and your daughter are struggling. Ha ha, we're causing you a stroke. We're causing your daughter a stroke. Get the fucking picture, bitch. Get the pic over and over and over again. In my head, they're Egyptian American Muslim women serial killers. They're talking in my fucking head. Do you hear me? These bitches they are forcing women to miscarry by murdering their babies while they're in their wombs. They are murdering Sandra Edward, murdered. They murdered her in her sleep. She just didn't wake up the next day. And she's only 24. Kiro, they found him on the side of like on a curb, 22 years old. They just made me go cross-eyed. Again, they did it again. Anytime I move my eyes. Sandra Edward, who else was, sorry, they're playing with my head. They're playing with my head. Was found dead. Oh, Kiro was found on a curb, like outside in the street. 24. Morrow, who they murdered, she picked up they didn't know that the gun was loaded, and she was in Vegas, and they called an Uber, and the Uber was like, oh, and they were like, oh, can we see it? We've never seen a gun before. And they were sitting in the back seat. It was Morrow and another girl, and he's like, oh, there's no in the chamber, and apparently there was, and he was like, I swear to God, I didn't know. And the girls believed him. He didn't get convicted or anything. But then again, that's crazy. So, like I said, most of their victims that are murdered by these terrorists, it looks like they've either died by accident, killed by accident, or they committed suicide. And these terrorists are like, we stuffed them with drugs like we're stuffing a stuffed animal. They just force the words "fuck you" out of my mouth. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. There's nothing for me. I've accepted that I might actually die with these psycho bitches talking in my head. What I have not accepted is that I'm not gonna die. There's no way in fucking hell I'm gonna die without sentencing them to death. I want justice. I'm gonna make it clear every fucking single day that I hear them in my head. I'm gonna go seek medical attention, because as long as it's on the medical records, because explaining it alone is not enough to clear these records. In translation, and I've heard so many targeted individuals attempt to do their best to explain what's going on with trying to say DARPA this, and it's their dark, like, blacks, whatever, weapons, and they're these direct energy weapons, and this and that and whatever, and like looking so far into it, and trying to explain it, and it sounds like someone physically is stalking them and not in their head. And so you have to medically say, I hear voices in my head. And then furthermore, you have to go explain and document it via social media. Take pictures. I took pictures of all the hair they made fall out. I live streamed to make it clear that I can't capture their voices on my live stream. Because obviously they're quote unquote investigating me. Okay. That if they're investigating me, I'm giving them an opportunity to find out for their damn selves that that they're getting sentenced to death, because I can't capture their voices on my live stream. Making it, and it's obvious, it's self-explanatory. They're talking in my head. There are records involved that they're trying to manipulate, and there are people that govern over the weapons, and the system that the weapon works on is self-regulated, almost like a computer, where it is a computer. It basically looks for cues and keywords to identify if the voices I hear are internal or external. It looks for surveillance cameras. It will look through Target surveillance record. Their surveillance cameras. If the terrorists are talking in my head while I'm in Target or Walmart or any department store, it will look for other people next to me. If it can identify license plates, it can immediately look for the individual that owns it and look to see if if they've heard it or reported anything. It can look for the title owners of people living in these condos. It can definitely source. It can look through public police reports. So the weapon does a lot of self-regulating to see, okay, there are no reports made that sound similar to what Renee's hearing. There are nobody's facial expressions show a bit of surprise or startled. It looks for surveillance records like my or social media clips where I'm involved, and it basically, like, it layers it, like, okay, it was at this time, same time as it, and it'll scan through the record to match it so that it's perfect, and they'll say, like, it'll be able to identify or distinguish whether the voices are internal or external. It will look at cues, okay, to decide if the medication that I use, the psychiatric medication, doesn't work. Then it deciphers that it's external. That's why they kept screaming while I was taking the medication, because I thought, oh well, if I take the medication, some of these because I'm trying to really address how to get them to back the fuck off me, right? And I'm like, I have to scare them somehow, because I don't know who they are. It's not like I could call the cops on them. All I can do is be around credible people, make it obvious that, I'm going to work, I'm going to school, I'm at Bible study, I'm with my kids, I'm with my family, in live stream, and make my life as public as possible to really, because they're investigating me. And I personally don't care if my life is public. I don't have shit to fucking hide. So it's the terrorists talking in my head that wanted to conduct it's a confidential investigation. The confidential part is for damn sure. Nobody knows they're talking in my head. Nobody knows they're using this war weapon to talk into my head. Nobody even knows about this weapon. They want to press people from knowing about it because they're using it to launder money. And the reason what permits anyone to have the ability to be behind the weapon that doesn't have certain clearances because they didn't meet certain criteria to just have access, you have to make claims that you're a victim of some sort. Okay, so these psycho bitches are saying they're victims of Christian and discrimination or what is it? They're playing with my head. They're being persecuted as Muslims in this country. So their claims are, and they're using, so they have people in the Middle East committing crimes that are like, and then they're using the weapon and sending people out here that they have control of to commit these things, so that, and it's just a whole lot of bullshit that's going on. It's just so deep and so stupid and so psychotic. I couldn't even begin to explain. This is just like, I know the bare bones, but they're playing with my head, but it's obvious that they're like far more disgusting and crazy than anybody could ever fucking imagine. I don't think that, I know the government obviously knows they want them sentenced to death. They just need to clear the records because the terrorists made it their profession, okay, to to master how to bypass all the security on the weapon. And so after 8 years of hearing these bitches talk in my head, I finally come to understanding, like, okay, this is one of the stupid psycho terrorist women talking in my head. She's Egyptian American Muslim, and I know that for a fact because they're claiming that they're being persecuted as Muslims. So that in itself, and this is a Christian country, this is why we got separated as church and state, because they didn't want it to be a biased country and these terrorists having access to the weapon. But that's a whole nother thing, and I'm learning slowly how deep this shit goes. And as I talk about it, I realize, oh, this is why they did that. Oh, this is why they did that. Like, just kind of dawns on me. Sometimes I just say things and it's just like, that fucking absolutely makes sense. So um not to just say things, but it just like my mind just puts things together and it just comes out, and when I hear it, I'm just like, I'm actually in awe at my own self. But anyways, considering that I'm under this weapon that is exposing me to high levels of radiation that can cause you a stroke, a heart attack. They've already herniated one of my discs in my back. They caused me spinal stenosis, and all day today, the excruciating pain in my back because they didn't want me around my kids. And they're like, because it was time for you to fucking go from shopping. Like, what? And because tomorrow you're going with your son, right? Like, they try to do this thing where it's called, like, it's a tactic they use where they try to shove things down your throat while torturing and abusing you. And then at the same time to cuss you out and cuss you out because you can't flee. They're talking in your head. So to make you sound violent and belligerent all at the same time. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. So now that I've learned their tactics, I'm slowly trying to. I'm like, okay, so they're women, and the men are. They were laughing like, our women are better than you. No one would ever suspect they're terrorists, bitch. Ha 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 ha. Now it's like, okay, let's just shove this. Their Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head right back down their fucking throats. And I'm not fucking joking. So, anyways, I am about to finish packing because my son and I are going on a train. He has orientation at Cal Poly SLO tomorrow in San Luis Obispo, and the terrorists talking in my head have been attacking me, and I got tired of not recording because I hate when the thought of them trying to manipulate the records it causes me PTSD. I'm like immediately like, what the fuck? Like, they might get away with this. And immediately I just freak the fuck out. So, and I got tired of hearing them and trying to act like I don't. So, I'm just going to record, make it clear that I can't capture their voices on my live stream. The terrorist psychopaths are still screaming. So I'm recording right now, okay? And I just want to make it clear that they are trying to get me kicked off of YouTube. So they want me violating, but some of the community rules to being able to live stream and post publicly. And so they're still attacking me, and more aggressively now, because if they can get me to cuss and scream, then this video is null and void and it gets blocked and I can't post anymore for however long YouTube blocks you until they finally suspend your account permanently. So I just want you to know they're attacking me severely right now. I want them sentenced to death. Do you hear me? They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're starting to suffocate me, and you can hear my wheezing. And I don't smoke, and I don't drink, and I don't do drugs. Mm. They're trying to work it. They're making me dizzy. They're making me dizzy. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're making me dizzy. I can't capture your voice on my live stream. I can't capture your voice on my live stream. I can't capture your voice on my live stream. I can't capture your voice on my live stream. I mean, what? Cute. To do to your kids. Look at, they may wear the like sweaty stuff. Mm. It's pushing it. Mm. I didn't know, so it's not like I was looking for it. Just struggling in my head. To anyone who hears these records. Makes it super fucking clear why. Where are you talking about? They're pushing me. They hit my knee on the back. Just trying to let my jeans. No. Okay, so Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:39 p.m. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Time back. Like, you really foreign ways of language ever kill themselves ever being able if any. This hard time sleeping, ugly piece of shit, stupid piece of shit. Who the haggard piece of shit. Who all he is a piece of shit. مفيش excuse لأي حد في الدنيا. على طول we have to save them on shit. مش عارفين. لا that even if you think you are, don't worry. We'll give you a life support. Oh, wow. they're pushing me. They want to run the world and they're pushing me. Can you imagine that Prince and Saudi pushing people? Hurry up! Go! Go! They're hurting me. The women are hurting me. When I said enough is enough, it's more than it's worth. Exactly what I needed. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists trying to force me. They're screaming in my head, trying to force me to commit suicide. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head, saying, "So, what does that mean?" There are Egyptian American women terrorists. They're talking in my head with a war weapon. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head with a war weapon. I cannot capture their voices on my live stream. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 10:07 p.m.
Okay. For the past hour and 15 minutes, they've been screaming in my head, and I wanted to make sure that I recorded to make it clear I can't capture their voices on my live stream. And now I'm going to go enjoy a little bit of my evening before I have to hit the sack, make sure I make the calls I need to make. Have a good night.